What's up, people? Welcome to the Real Estate Power Play podcast. Coming to you live with Gabe and Marty and the man, Marty Grisanti.
What up? What's going on, brother? What's going on? What's happening?
Man, it's been good. I've been trying to figure out how to share this live that we're doing. It's not working, so, it'll work. How you been, dude? We had an awesome powerhouse week last week. For those who
let's talk about it.
You want to go over that real quick with everyone who's on here?
No doubt.
Let's do it. So we're part of multiple commercial masterminds. Marty and I do different stuff. He's in upstate New York, for those who know, those who don't. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I'm like branching out all over the southeast region of just retail shopping centers. And Marty's all over the place when he's coming to industrial, multifamily, shopping centers, townhomes, started off in single family. The man. So what's a big takeaway that you got just from some of the networking and the commercial events and the stuff that you've been doing? What is something that you've been seeing like in the last, month, 3 months? What's the thing that's like hot right now for you?
So I'm going to talk about that, but I think to answer your question about what was my takeaway from the conference, right? The meetup was everyone's got to make more offers. Just plain old, everyone's got to make more offers. And so what does that mean? So just because something's listed at a certain price doesn't mean you shouldn't offer the number that you need to get it at for it to make sense to you.
Back it up. Back it up. Say it again.
So you're looking at properties and you're like, man, I really like this property. It fits a lot of my stuff, but it's priced high. Okay. How many times did we hear in that conference that something was priced here and then they end up getting it down here? Right. There is, again, not every time, but you're only going to get that unless you make the offer. Right. So these people, when you reach a certain level, are very systematic with the number of offers they need to make. Like, look, as a company, we need to make this many offers a week or we didn't do what we said we were going to do. Again, even if it's just, there's nothing, even if you get no response, you have to get in that mode of making offers because then you get one and you'd be like, oh my God. Right. Or they go, well, let's do some due diligence, right? Maybe so you throw your offer in there.
So are you saying that whenever someone comes to you, and because this is interesting, because I get this, and I think a lot of people get this, they just don't want to say it, that, hey, this is going to be at a 7.8 cap. And you got to be at a 9.2, 9.5 for this thing to freaking pencil.
Sure. So
you're pretty far away. You're saying, hey, listen, are you just telling the broker or the seller, direct the seller? You're just saying, hey, look, this is just where we're going to be. I know this is going to be way off. Is that how you're approaching it? I know this, I don't want to offend you, but this is kind of where we're just going to be. For us to make sense and pencil out, is that how you're approaching it? Or you're just like, screw it, here's the number, see ya. And I think that's how people perceive things, right, Marty? Is like they're either saying, screw you, this is my number, but they're not making that segue for someone to even want to come back and have a conversation with Marty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a couple of things. I think first of all, no one even does that approach, right? No one even, they look at the number and they go, this is never going to work. I'm out, right? You automatically take yourself out of it by even not trying to have the conversation. And again, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to meet a broker that knows now what you're looking for. They're always looking for buyers, right? They're always looking to build a database of buyers. So now you're getting familiar with them. So the worst case scenario is you're getting a rapport now with a broker. Okay, great. Second thing is, Mr. Broker, you know that you're not a dummy. You know I got to get it for this much more than, look, the interest rate's at 7. I need to get at least 200 basis points over that. I need to buy at least as a 9. I want to buy this and make money. They understand that.
Yeah.
They get it. So you just tell them, and they go, look, I know, I know it's crazy. Or they're going to say, yeah, no, my seller's just not going to accept it. No worries. Is it okay if I don't see this move? I follow up with you. Yeah, of course. Right. And so then when you go back in 3 months and maybe it gets under contract and it falls out, that's another thing. How many times did we hear about in the meetings, all the contracts that fall out happen all the time? So just because, and here's another thing. Well, with that, when you're talking to a seller or you're talking to a broker, they go, it's under contract. That doesn't mean it's going to sell.
No.
That doesn't mean it's sold. So keep that in your pipeline of going, no problem, totally get it. Hope it does. I hope you guys get everything and more. Keep it in your pipeline, follow up with it when you're looking at it, and then you can go, okay, it's still up there.
Bro, that deal that you did the other day that we were underwriting, a lot of people don't know, like it takes like, there's some there's some groups that like we have that we could just underwrite together, right? Like we've like, hey, let's underwrite this deal. We're underwriting it. Hey man, how long ago did this thing come in? What was that one shopping center that we did? And it was like 8 months ago from like a mailer cold caller type thing that we were talking through, right? Wasn't it like an 8-month-old lead?
Yeah.
I mean, in the commercial world, a lot of people like misunderstand just that's normal. That's a normal lead. It's like it takes 6 months to 12 months of cultivating a relationship to even put a house. Like if you see a commercial property on any website anywhere, that took months for them to cultivate, for someone to trust. Hey, this is a family estate, or this is the family property. You know, I need to make sure that the Marty, the not that he's a broker, but that guy who's a broker is going to treat my family right or treat my money right. You know, like they're not just going to throw it out there like a single family. Let me just see what I get. There's a lot of documents in this stuff.
Yeah, no
right.
doubt.
There's other underwriting. So there's a need that I think that that aha moment for you was a great moment for me of going, there's a lot of moving parts in this stuff. And to treat it like a single family is to do it injustice, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But to go back to the point you're making as well, even with single family, this stuff happens too. You know, you're looking at a property and it is fitting all your criteria. It needs work. If you're looking, you know, it's all those things. It's an estate, and you're going, wow, that it's priced high. Pass. I'm going to keep moving. Make the offer. I mean, or at least take the time to talk to the agent to let them know this is look, Gabe, I'm so glad you're listening to this property. This is exactly what my company buys. We buy this stuff all the time. So if you ever get into a situation where it's a hassle to maybe put this on the market and you just want something quick because the seller doesn't want to put it up on the market, or maybe because the family doesn't want people walking in the house to see the condition, or because they're worried about the neighbor walking in and kind of, you know, you just don't, you want a little more of a private type deal. Look, I'll pay you a referral. I'll pay you your commission, but give me the opportunity. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this one work. I'd probably be around XYZ price. Is that even fit? Well, I have to think about it. I'd have to, you know, could you put it in writing? Sure can. Yeah, let me put that in writing to you. I mean, I can close in 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So those little things, the big takeaway again, and I want to get to the topic because I think it's important because I know you have a lot to really hit with the marketing thing with what we're going to talk about, but it's just make more offers and don't be afraid to make the offer. That's really it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really good. And I think that a lot of people need to hear it right now because like for the market that we are in, which is in just Texas in general, there's a lot of different stuff happening. Different price ranges, 300 grand and under are operating different than 300 grand and over. Right. Yeah. But Philippe, look at Philippe on here. What's up, buddy? Man. What was I going to say? So I get a call today. Lady's in dire straits. Husband has diabetes. Some major illness started happening. I got caught up. Another phone. So I, got the phone call, talked to her. This single family home, not a big deal, right? We do this all the time. She calls me back later on. She goes, "Hey, I thought you were going to make an offer. I just got caught off guard." Right. But you're so right. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, you do know this is what we're looking for. I can help you out. I can get you in your home for a while, pay you some cash, let you stay there for 2 weeks, maybe even a month, do a lease back, help you with the move out. You don't have any family. Okay, we can do this other stuff. I was like, but we're going to be in this range. And she says, Marty, she says exactly what you said. She goes, listen, I just need an offer from you because I don't even know where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. I just need a number. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like some people just need a number of just to grab reference of going, this is where the market's at. And a lot of people don't know that. Like if Marty, whenever you give that offer to that commercial broker, they're like, hey, look, and this is where the price guidance comes in at. But we know that there's some shifting. So how do they know what the shifting is going to unless you make the offer? So if enough people is doing their job and doing what they need to be doing, the market stabilizes, right? And it's not just going to, well, that guy is the highest bidder. Maybe there's 5 other people that are more reasonable, and the highest bidder just happens to be a guy who overbid. Maybe he just wasn't supposed to be like buying it. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like maybe everyone else was right around Marty's price range, and they're going, man, maybe they were supposed to drop the price the next day. And you're the next person in line. And then, so what? The point is you're putting it out there. So, man, that was really good. That was like 12 minutes of fire, Marty.
Well, it really is actually a part of the topic. Like, are you being intentional with your marketing? So making an offer is marketing. Talking to brokers is marketing, right? Talking to realtors. Talking to realtors is marketing. If you're intentional about it. So what do I mean by being intentional? Well, letting them know that this is the type of property you buy.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
So let's go over that, Marty. So here's the question. You're calling up whoever. It could be the seller. This is the reason why I wanted to do this was I've been talking with different wholesalers and different people, and I'm like, it's very broad. Like the angle is just like I'm just anything I could find.
Yeah.
Right. And then and they're newer. So if you're newer, I don't know if I really suggest it as much as like I used to think that too. Just throw a bunch of mud on the wall. Let's see what sticks. Right. So what does that language look like? Like how about this? What are the top things that someone needs to know, in your opinion, of their, like, what is it? Their criteria, right? Of going, look, this is how you need to know your criteria so you know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to know. Now, if we're talking about wholesalers, or if we're talking about people, that need to, that want to buy it as an investment themselves. But at the end of the day, it's really going to be the same. You need to buy it below what the market value is. That's just what it is.
It is. Yeah.
So, but let's just talk about talking to agents real quick, because that's very simple, to start with. I think people can get crazy trying to find off-market deals, but let's just start with talking to agents. So what that would look like was you look on the market for a property that looks like it's an estate type property. What's an estate? Something that just is it's an as-is sale, right? And you'll see that in the listing. And those are everywhere. As-is sale, needs to be a cash deal. And there are going to be more of those coming soon, right? There's a lot of motivation happening in the markets with high credit card debt right now in the market. It just came out. It's been bananas right now with how much credit card debt that's in the United States. Okay. But anyway, so going back to it. So you find that type of property, you guys know, right? So it looks like it's from the 70s, right? It looks like it's from the 70s. So just use that as an example. It's dated, right? So you then go and approach that agent. Hi, Gabe, this is Marty. I just got to let you know, I saw your listing at 123 Main Street. I love that property. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like that. It's dated. It needs work. And I'm a buyer for that type of property. I'm an investor, so I need to buy it and make money. I can't pay you that number. Is there any wiggle room with the seller here? And one of two things is going to happen. Well, they really need to get that amount because they owe this, that, or the other, or no, they they want to get this price. It's going to sell. It's in the best area, blah, blah, blah. Right. Okay, fine. No problem. Can I tell you something? If you ever come across these types of deals and you come across a seller that might be a little tougher to work with, or maybe they don't want to pay you, or maybe they get cold feet because they don't want people walking in their house and doing the whole open house type scenario. I'm a very private sale. I'm very discreet. I'm cash, and I'm going to close extremely quickly, and I'm going to take care of you. Would you mind putting me on some sort of list? Just keep me informed, or could I follow up with you every so often to see what you get in your pipeline? Absolutely, Marty. That sounds great. Awesome. And by the way, Gabe, I'll even one better you. If I end up buying any of your properties, I'll actually have you list it when I'm done flipping it. How's that sound? That would be awesome, Marty. Well, let me do this. Would you at least put my offer in front of that seller? And I don't have an agent, and I'll use you as my buying agent. Are you open to that? Absolutely. Would you like to get the whole 6% of the commission instead of the 3%? Yes, I would. I would love to work with you. Would you at least put it in front of them? Yeah, okay. And would you sell them on me? I'm going to be a closer. I'm not going to maybe be the highest offer, but I'm going to be the offer you can count on. Is that what you're looking for? Yeah, I'm looking for an offer we can count on. Awesome.
I love it.
So a lot of different verbiage there. And again, this isn't one day you're going to learn all this stuff, right? But it only happens when you have the conversation.
Yep.
What is for you, when you're approaching that, like, give me your way, because we all have different ways. I know you're the master talking to
No, this is fantastic. I had one yesterday where like the lady, she's the seller calls me. It's a listed deal. I can't sell this thing. Why not? Or no, they just, I had it listed a couple times and expired. I'm like, well, I mean, is it a broker thing? Is it a realtor thing? She goes, no. We just have 5 dogs and people don't want to come through my home. I'm like, oof. And I go, you made it kind of tough for your realtor to sell their house. I know I did. And, they know, right, when that stuff is happening. So I feel for the realtor. So I'm like, okay, well, I end up getting a hold of the realtor saying, hey, listen, I just want to let you know, like, it's expired listing. I can go straight to seller. Also say, hey, listen, I know you worked this deal. What do you know about this thing that I don't know? I don't have eyes on it. Can you give me some updates? She gives me some updates. I say, look, I'll pay you a fee. This is what's going on. We have these conversations quite honestly every day now, especially with the broker world that we work with and the world that you're in. Because, at the end of the day, guys, here's the thing. This is about being intentional, right? What happens is, from my understanding, is that people focus on way too many marketing strategies at once because there's a lot of shiny objects of what they hear. Someone else might post something. Someone else might post something. And then you're going, oh my gosh, this is great. The reality is that it takes anywhere from, in my frame of reference, the moment you hear that idea of that marketing strategy, it takes you about 77 days. What I have in my marketing is over 70 days before the funnel really starts happening for you. You might get lucky right away, but those ones you get lucky on normally like FSBO type stuff, the driving for dollar type stuff that you just run across on an accident just happens to be one of those things. And you got to understand some other things that, like, when you're doing like the list polling, the PPC, the Facebook ads, the direct mail, the cold calls, all that stuff takes time. If you dilute your word that you're like really like out there and you're doing this stuff, you dilute it too much, you won't have enough time to focus on the things that are actually coming in. And then you can tweak it. Marty just didn't learn that overnight. He made a call and he goes, man, there's something here. Let me change my phrasing, right? Mm-hmm. He changes his phrasing. Okay, that one didn't work. Oh, shoot, you're not supposed to say that other stuff. Oh, realtors really don't like me saying this. Yeah. Oh, wait, before you think I'm a low baller, I just want to let you know, I just have to make the numbers work for us in our fund or our money or our capital or whatever you want to call it. I mean, just like your bank account needs to be buying at a certain rate, so do I, no doubt, just stuff like that. And that eliminates the fact of them going, look, you're just not another low baller who's going to text blast me, whatever. Right. Because everyone's getting text blasts nowadays. Right. Yep. So this is how you become intentional with your marketing. Right. This is stuff that you need to think about. Do you think, Marty, that you can be intentional with Marty? This is kind of off the script, but can you be intentional with your marketing without putting it into practice? Like, do you think that someone can just go, let me be intentional from day one? Or do you think that they should, like, out of, like, they write down, like, I don't know, 7, 8, there's a million different ways to do it, and they just pick 3 and say, I just need to focus on these? Like, what would be something that you'd say, how you got to be more intentional about what you do? Because I know you eliminated a lot of stuff out of your stuff going, guys, this just doesn't work for us anymore.
Yeah, I think it's taking action, and being cognizant of what do I need to do in order to take more action. And taking action is making offers in my business. And it's not the Facebook posts. And I know those are important. Right. I know they're all important. But it really is like being intentional on having good conversations with sellers and people that can bring me deals, bird dogs, wholesalers, agents. Those are the people that can fill my pipeline. I need my pipeline filled in this business. You need your pipeline to be constantly available with new and motion and deal flow, or you die out here. So, I took, like I said, that meetup was so eye-opening to me. It's like, dude, we're not making enough offers, and because we're worried about the number that's listed there. So that's my answer there. I would also just say, though, that in regards to being intentional with your marketing, though, one of the things that I need to start doing, and I think we all need to do better, is not take away from what we've already done in the past. So I think a lot of us discredit what our previous wins have been in this world of real estate. So, for example, I'm a big believer in proof stacking. So what's proof stacking? It's letting people know I have evidence that I've already done this. Okay. But I don't really tell people about the wins. I mean, yeah, we'll show the house that we just remodeled, right, or we'll show the new acquisition. But I really need to get better, and I think all of us do, in regards to, look, my investor gave me $650,000 on these townhouses in Brockport, right? And I got them $40,000 back on their money. They got their money back in 6 months, and they made $40,000 because I had an interest payment with them. I haven't done that enough. So think about that in your own world. Think about that in your own world, right? So I don't care what you are. If you're a painter, hey, I don't know, I want to get into investing, Marty. I'm just a painter. Okay, what do you mean just a painter? You're just a painter. You know exactly how much painting's involved in real estate and how much you now know. Yeah, you got to use. Look, I painted 400 homes. I know a lot about real estate. That's good. Right. So stack some of the wins that you've had. Well, I'm just an insurance agent. I don't know what I'm doing. How many policies have you written for landlords? Well, quite a bit. Okay, so you're probably familiar with like the structuring of the financial that they had to get, right? You had to be put on a certain loan and all those different things. Like, so I just feel like we all discredit some of our wins that we've had, and I think we need to push that and put that in the front. What are your thoughts?
That's really good, man. That's really good. I'm going to share the story. I know you might not have to hop off or whatnot, but this is exactly what happened this morning. I'm going to go ahead and remove them for a second. So guys, this morning I'm having a conversation with my team, and we're just talking about this exact same thing that Marty was just sharing about. And it's basically letting your network know what you have done. It's just stacking your wins. And sometimes what happens is you're not sharing. And I got it from, I just love helping smaller businesses. It doesn't matter who, like whenever I'm just meeting people that I know, even guys that show up to the house that just get worked on some of our own properties. How are you marketing yourself? How are you letting people know, man, you can take a video and just let people know what you're doing. It's the same thing. If you're a roofer, so what? You're on a roof today, you're on a roof tomorrow. That's your job, but let people know what you're doing, right? You good? I just hopped you off real quick. Sorry. So this is what happens. So I go, okay, let's talk about stacking our wins and seeing how to make all that work. So how does that work? You go and you let people know, you write out your script. This is the part of being intentional. And you let people know, hey, I'm buying some houses and this is something I just did. And I know that some people that are just getting started in real estate investing, they might have bought a house 3 years ago. You might have bought a house a year ago. And you're like, hey, I'm just getting in. I got a phone call today from a friend of mine. He's like, man, I've been out of the game. I had a stroke. I have these properties. I need some assistance. I need some help from you. Can you help me? And I'm like, sure. But you know what I'm going to tell them to do? Exactly what I'm telling this group to do in this podcast is take those wins. You've bought these properties. You've had 15 houses under your management. That's way more than the average person. That's enough experience with tenants and with everything else. You're doing well. Don't discredit that and just use that story for the next thing. And that's how you become more intentional with your marketing. And if you're a painter, if you're a plumber, if you're just whatever you might be doing, if you're self-employed, you got to really share that story and critique the story that you're doing. When I'm talking to sellers, we have a set of stories that we share. We have enough things going on now that I could just share the most recent story that's going on. But there was a time where I just had to share the same story over and over again, right? And I have a story of how I got involved with people. Like if we're buying houses for someone who might be elderly, who might have lost a loved one, who might have an illness, I got a set of stories that I share with them going, yeah, that's actually how I got started with real estate investing, which is totally true. Years ago, I got involved in real estate investing because my grandpa passed away and we had to figure out how to sell his house. And that was quite a bit of time ago. And once I learned how to do that, I'm like, we could do this for other people. And then I started getting involved in real estate investing. Another way to become more intentional in your marketing is to really map out and I know I shared it earlier, guys, but just map out like the five ways that you could be doing marketing. So let's say it's either PPC, Facebook ad, direct mail, cold calls, ringless voicemail, text messages. There's a lot of other ways. People are using AI. People are using a lot of different things, but you only have so much time to learn it. And then you got to pull the list. You got to make sure it's a good list. You can't just take anything that someone gives you. Whether it's networking. Networking is golden because that means it's just you and you're an actual person instead of just a robot. Okay, let me say that again. If you're doing networking and you're out there and you're just making calls yourself, cold calling is really good. People are seeing a human being, or they're hearing a human being, or they're hearing the inflection of your tone. And it's not just you going, hey, I just want to see if you're looking at selling your house. Okay, bye. Just looking at you selling your house. Okay, bye. That's not what's going on because you have a select list. You know that the property that you're calling on, right, is the property that's already in your list. And this is the thing that kind of baffles me the most whenever I'm hearing newer people make cold calls or they're sending out mailers. I'm like, you pulled the list for your buy box. So to give you guys an insight of how real this is, Marty and I were joking around. The other day, I pulled a list and I text him and it's 10:30 my time. That means it's 11:30 his time. And I'm going, hey, by the way, are you pulling this list for so-and-so, one of his marketplaces? And I was in there digging around in just different services that we use for list polling. And so as I was digging through there and stuff, he actually was on here earlier. We're just talking before the podcast. He goes, Gabe, what were you doing at this time of night? And I'm like, man, I was in the zone. Because once you get to the good place where you know what you're looking for, you're in the zone. You know what list you want. You know what buy box you want. You know what criteria you want. You know what kind of property it is. This is what I'm saying about being intentional with your marketing. If you're going to be spending hours and dollars and other people's time and connecting with other people, make sure that it's the type of asset that you want. So that way, when it comes in, you know that it's going to fit within this criteria. There was a time that I was shopping for all types of properties and I didn't know what I wanted. So I pulled a freaking huge list and it was expensive. It was costly. It was stupid. I wasted money. And it didn't last long. It only took like a week. And I'm like, I don't like this list. Let me re-pull it. And then I knew what I wanted. And then I pulled it again and I knew what I wanted. And if anybody's telling you, and this is on social media, so if anyone's telling you that you need to get this out of the first time, it's not going to happen. So pull a small list if you want to. connect with us. We can direct you to different areas to pull a list or what you could be focusing on. Pull something that's hot in your market or that's going to sell. If you're going to be a flipper, don't pull something that's going to be, you're in the $1 million range. And the best thing that's selling right now is everything underneath 350 grand in your marketplace. Don't do that if you're just getting started. We want to see people become successful in what they're doing. That's the point of Real Estate Power Play, is that we give back knowledge for those things. And we're just hoping that we can this is our give back. So those are some things. I did have a question earlier as someone was asking about the way that we're doing our marketing. And let me see if I have that on here. She was saying she's highlighting and she's tweaking some of her marketing, just kind of have a couple of directions on it. Find a good list pulling service if that's what you're looking for. Identify the type of property that you're looking at. Single family, could be multifamily, could be mobile home parks, could be storage facilities, could be mobile homes. I got one of my best guys that for one of our mobile home parks. He specifically does mobile homes. I'm so glad we became good friends over time, but he's a beast at it and he doesn't really play around with other stuff. Fine. That's his niche and he's awesome at it. So I'm not going to ever see him pull lists or do deals or send me something that he just acquired that is way outside of his buy box. So get really good at those things. And again, if you're going to be talking to brokers and realtors and really reaching out as far as like a network basis, Marty had a good point, and it's just like, make some offers. Whenever you make the offer, you don't have to come off rude. You don't have to come off as that person that's like, oh, I'm the low baller person. You just have to come off and say, hey, listen, I know this number is going to be different than what you're looking at because you've already told me what you're looking at. But I guarantee you I could come in and I could close on this deal. I have a reputation and the people I work with are really good. And we've been doing this for a while. So that's how I would approach those things. Guys, we want to connect with you. So we are on Real Estate Power Play. We got the podcast. We have social media, YouTube, Power Play. And what we've been doing lately is just answering a lot of just direct messages and Messenger. Connect with me. I'd love to help you guys out in any way possible. And that's it, guys. So have an awesome day. We'll see you guys later. Peace.